Hello, gang.
Again. Hi.
You thought you weren't going to see us again for a while. And for a moment, you didn't, because right now we're in the middle of a really fun time for the world. The world has a cold.
Yep, the world has a cold. So,
and it's sneeze-yeeting some of us into oblivion.
Yes. And so, we're here.
But don't worry, we've got some essential oils we can sell you that'll cure it. They'll cure the COVID. You just gotta buy them from our website, okay? The globalists don't want you to have these oils. You look in the dirt outside. Why are the animals not dying? It's clear. They're gay.
Are you supposed to be Alex Jones?
I'm not being anybody. There's no political content on this channel.
Okay.
It's very apolitical. We're just talking about perfumes, okay? That's a nice segue into the
apolitical perfume that we're about to talk about.
Apolitical perfume, which is Slumberhouse's Norn. These are the newer bottles. Let me see if you can. So these are the newer bottles. You can see they've got an etching on the front. You know, they've got these little heavy plastic caps, and they had, I guess, an issue with these caps and the sprayers maybe, so then they were doing something else for a little while, and then they got put on back order for forever. But I think they're just about to become available again. We also have one of our smaller decants from, I think this is a 2012 bottle. We've had a decant from a 2016 bottle as well, but I can't find that right now. So we've got some variation in our ability to smell this little feller throughout the years. And it's kind of been a guy that's haunted our collection before actually becoming a part of it for forever.
Yeah, because you did not like it at first.
I did not like it at first. The very first time I wore this, I put on a ton of it.
That would do it.
And then I went to go get my hair cut. And yeah, I mean, the first time I wore this, I was not well prepared to approach a perfume like this, and I overdid it. So it kind of became like Worcestershire sauce.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, like a backwoods Worcestershire sauce, which is how I described it on my Fragrantica review initially. You can go back and see my thoughts on that from about, I think, probably 4 years ago. I think that was
No, it's not even that. It can't be that old.
Yeah, I think it's a 2016 or 2017. It's one or the other. But nevertheless,
it's old.
It's old, and obviously, I can admit I'm wrong.
Yep.
This motherfucker's beautiful.
We've grown a lot since then.
We have.
Yes.
Yeah. Bat from Zoologist is another one that was really intense. You can actually check out, we've got one of our reviews from that, and that one's from 2016.
That's a really old review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see we, at the time, were able to appreciate it not as a perfume, but as a work of art.
Which it still is.
Which it is 100% a work of art. Now we can just realize that...
that we were noobs.
Yeah, we were little
noobs.
Little idiots. Just some dummies.
Well, let's start with Les Battelles, since that's what we were talking about.
The bottle.
I personally like the square bottles better.
Yeah, I think that's a universal agreement. Most people say that the flask bottle is probably one of the best bottles in all of perfumery.
I do like those.
And I agree.
You can see that, I think we've done some other, I think Sova?
Yeah, we did Sova.
Yeah, Sova's got it, and we did a review of that, and that's got the bottle. I like that bottle better. I mean, this bottle's fine. It just kind of reminds me of a very large nail polish bottle. Like, that's what it feels like to me.
That's kind of what it looks like.
It just, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't fit the perfume either.
It doesn't.
So there's definitely some sort of clash between what's inside the bottle and what's outside the bottle. They don't go together at all. So, I mean, it's not an ugly bottle. We've for sure seen worse.
Oh, yeah.
But, I wish it was the flask.
Yeah, and it's also difficult because these guys are extrait de parfums. The flask was just enough that you could see the actual color of the liquid. Here, because of the cylindrical shape, it's all condensed and it's impossible to really tell what color it is. You can see better from the little sample that we have here, you can kind of see at the top how it's green. It's kind of like a greenish brownish. It looks like a green Worcestershire sauce for sure. But then if you look at the more cylindrical bottle, it just looks pitch black, which is fine and dandy. I mean, you can see a little bit of the green up top when you kind of wiggle it. But the flask bottles, yeah, the aesthetic was better, and then it also allowed you to see the juice better, and it also matched the juice in a lot better way.
Yeah.
But I think the production was just too difficult on those, is what, according to Dead Idol on Bass Notes, who is basically the only way anybody will get any information from Josh Lobb at all, is through Dead Idol. And I think, yeah, it just became to crimp the sprayer on those bottles was, I guess, a giant pain in the ass. So,
which we can respect and understand, but doesn't mean we don't wish we had other bottles.
Yeah, yeah.
So Josh, if you're listening,
Which you aren't.
nope, you don't have to do the flask bottle.
Yeah.
But can you change this because it feels old lady-ish a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
again.
think the gold doesn't help either. Like, right, there's like a little gold.
I think it's silver. I think
it?
The light's just refracting off
Oh,
of
it
it
is.
at an odd.
This little silver band also doesn't help. It makes it even feel even more. I think if it was just a pure black cap, maybe even matte black.
Yeah, I wish
that would help.
Maybe the whole bottle could have been just matte black.
Yeah.
At this point, because the juice, you're really not getting a good look at it anyway. So yeah.
But anyway, so that's our take on Le Batal.
Le Batteur.
Yeah. I don't think that's actually French. I'm just being l'assassinator.
So what's Norn smell like? What do you think? Here, you want to let's
smear it with our nose. Okay.
Yeah, here,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
trade.
yeah. Sweep. Swap.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I described this was a very sappy forest. Yeah, very thick, very spiced, but definitely lots of nature notes in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little bottle of Douglas Firth that's put inside of some fractionated coconut oil. I think it's 33% of the actual Douglas fir oil. And when you apply that, I mean, you really see a huge, strong parallel because the fir balsam in here is, just very raw. I mean, he's built like a forest using Douglas fir, but then, scattering across the floor of the forest a lot of other elements. But the Douglas fir really comes through in this fella, and it becomes very apparent what you're dealing with.
He's in Washington, right? Washington State?
Oregon. He's in Portland.
Okay. So, actually, I mean, the way to visualize this fragrance, in my opinion, is, a forest in the northwest of the States with fog in a horror movie. And not like into the fact that it's scary, but it's just got like some darker...
Brooding.
Yeah, things that like keep it down versus happy springtime fog with like light shining through happiness. It's,
Well, I mean, the narrative that he weaves with Norn is that it's based off of... he doesn't explicitly name Bertram, but Bertram from Norway, when he was burning down churches, Varg Vikernes, which is not his real name, just his little moniker, but that's what we'll refer to him as, Count Varg. He referred to himself as Count something else, I can't remember. But anyway, when he was doing his little black metal thing in Norway and trying to revitalize paganism and some neo-Nazi shit, while burning down Christian churches and saying, like, revitalize the Nordic people. That's what this juice is supposed to represent, like a burning forest, black metal inspiration. So not.
I think I could get that.
Yeah. I mean the other strongest note in here is an incense note. I think just frankincense, maybe mixed with cedar. So you get a smoky, kind of like spicy, almost churchy vibe already with the fir balsam in there as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely reads that way. To me, like, this is a lot more gentle than black metal. Like, I mean, even if you're talking about like second or third generation black metal, that's toned down, its aesthetic a lot. This still doesn't really match to me. This is a lot more, yeah.
It's just a dash of black metal in there.
It's a dash.
It's a dash.
A small little dash.
It's a little.
It's like, oh yeah. Neo-pagan tree worship. Here you go. Boop. That's really. It's not the. There's not the church burning. There's not the. There's certainly not the neo-Nazi element. Thank God. But
I thought we were supposed to be apolitical, dude. Anyway.
Well, nevertheless, it's a very foresty, a very nature. I mean, like you said, very natural smelling perfume.
Yeah. This is not my favorite of Slumberhouses. I really like. We have two other in our collection, Sova and
Pear and Olive.
Pear and Olive, and Pear and Olive is one of my go-to grabs. And I also really do like the smell of Sova a lot. Norn is okay for me. I mean, it's nothing that I gravitate towards. It's nothing that when you wear it that I absolutely love. It's something that I do enjoy, but it's not one of my favorites in the collection.
Yeah, Norn has moved up to me as one of my 5 favorite perfumes, probably of all time right now. It is very simple in a way, and I really do appreciate that because it really, a lot of perfumes that say like, oh, this is a cedar reference note, or like, hey, really pay attention. This guy here's a spruce reference note. They're usually overloaded with notes. It becomes impossible to really say, oh yeah, you get the purity of the tree that they're trying to represent here. And I've always really liked fir trees. I think they smell amazing, and mixed with all the other balsamic notes here, I think this is really the flagship fragrance for Slumberhouse. It really represents a lot of the things that they want to pursue, or Josh wants to pursue.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot of other fragrances from the house, and I think in a lot of situations the pursuit of a balsamic kind of like grungy aesthetic doesn't really suit a lot of the fragrances that come out of the house. There's nothing I've really hated from the house. There's a lot that I think are like humdrum fragrances, and there's a lot that are masterpieces from the house. Slumberhouse is one of my favorite houses, so I'm definitely not knocking them. I think they're amazing at what they do, but I think the like grungy, cauldron-y aesthetic really comes in well here for Norn. I think Norn's a masterpiece, and it's very just distinctive. I mean, when you smell it, you really get the fir balsam, and then you just get this like resinous Slumberhouse accord. You could also almost call it Slumberhouse Nade, like Girlinade. So what would you give Norn overall?
Out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10.
7.2-ish. I mean, it's good. It's above average. I don't love it. It's not that great.
I'd give it a 10, obviously.
Obviously, you love it right now.
Amazing.
As far as this goes, heed the warning that we said earlier that this did not start out on our favorite list or even a want list for a long time because we did not like it. So if you are new, give yourself some time before you try to go down this rabbit hole, I would argue.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to try something from the house to start seeing really what it's about, I mean, Kissed is probably a better fragrance. He's got sweeter ones like Sedane or Sedine or however you'd pronounce that. New Cibet is really friendly. I think it's just called Cibet now. Pear and Olive is very friendly. And then even Sova is, I would say,
like
more friendly than this.
Yeah.
But then, try out Norn at some point. I think it's really something necessary for people to try. I mean, if you're really wanting to explore fragrance.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and as far as use, can I smell again?
Yeah, totally.
Thanks. Whoop. Don't drop the cup. Very masculine. I think a female could wear this, but I think that you would have to be a very specific type of female to pull this off. I am not one of them. I don't think that you could probably wear this to work. I think it's a bit too dark and a bit too heavy to try to wear in a professional setting.
See, I totally think that you could. You're just going to be understood. I mean, if you're coming into work and you're normally the guy who's got a nice trim cut, you know, it's very tightly parted.
Good point, okay.
And you're always clean shaven, you're wearing a nice tie and a nice, you know, watch all the time. You come in wearing this, people are going to kind of be like, what the hell is going on with Jim? You know, something's wrong with this dude. But, like, I mean, because this reads very, like, outdoorsy. When I say, like, the neo-pagan element really comes in, it really does. I would call this, like, a neo-pagan classic, or even just, like, an old-school pagan classic, I think, is probably, it's somewhere between the two. You know, it's got enough popular cult appeal to be neo-pagan, but it's also, like, not a bitch. So, I don't know, I mean, depending on what paganism you're talking about, we don't want to go down this rabbit hole. I'm trying to avoid this rabbit hole, but nevertheless, you can wear this, and it can come across appropriate. You just have to be aware with this one. This isn't one you can just slap on willy-nilly, and people won't
That's fair.
look twice at you, or people will look twice at you.
Obviously, like, the best place, in my opinion, to wear this is if you're going to go to a metal concert. You'll fit right in.
Yeah.
If your outfit is mostly black, you can wear this all the time.
See, I think this is maybe like Mastodon. It's probably a good like metal band to
Okay, that's fair.
to rock this. I mean, like there's they're a little strange, a little backwoods. You know, they're grungy, they're sludgy, but they're still like a nice sheen to them. They're polished. They're popular. This guy's still. I think when you spray this on, it's still mass appealing. There's enough sweet like notes on the top that'll really be like, hey, look, I'm friendly, but I'm also into crazy stuff. You know, so I mean, this isn't like Aranyaka or some shit where you can slap it on and people are already like, what the hell, what's going on? You know.
Yeah.
So. So yeah, Matt, wear to Mastodon.
Yeah, there you go. Do you have any fictional characters? I mean, I guess you could say, even though Mastodon isn't fictional, I guess you could say that could work.
Yeah. I could see Mastodon smelling like this.
Okay.
And sweat. You know, B.O. in this.
Yeah, there you go. I have no idea. I have no idea who would wear this. I mean, in my mind, do you remember that really crappy, like, Into the Woods movie that we watched with the crazy creature thing? It was on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
Yeah.
there was a really crappy horror movie that came out with, like, these guys going through this forest. There were a bunch of friends going through a forest, and, like, they all pretty much die in the movie.
Oh, I don't think that was crappy. I love that movie.
I hated that movie.
Oh.
Anyway, there's, like, this big giant, like, pagan woodland creature thing.
Yeah.
That's what he would smell like.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember what that movie's called,
No.
but I loved that movie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for me, I'm thinking much the same thing, like, in keeping with the pagan element. I mean, really, like, to me, this could be even what... Sorry, what were you going to say?
Even the trees from Lord of the Rings.
The Ents?
Yeah!
Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, Vainamoinen from the Kalevala. I mean,
there you go.
You know, the first thing he does when he gets birthed is look about and say, like, I need to plant some trees. So...
Do you think the Lorax would smell like this?
No.
Oh, bummer.
The Lorax would just smell like ass. But yeah, I mean, I hope you're really getting a good idea of what we're talking about. I mean, you know, popular pagan, you know, somewhat sweet, balsamic, woody,
yeah.
you know, kind of smoky. Like it's like the entry level to like niche nightmare town, where like sitting at the base floor is like, you know, Aranyaka and all sorts of other, you know, weird, more aggressive fragrances.
So you go down the rabbit. Oh yeah, you're going down the rabbit hole into Creepy Town. Okay, cool.
Into Creepy Town.
Creepy Town. Okay. Well, I think that about sums up what we think about Norn.
Yep, a masterpiece, a popular cult masterpiece.
Get it? Cult, pagan, cult.
Well, so now that we have covered the 2 fragrances that people asked us to do, unless somebody requests something else, we're just going to start going in and going crazy with some of this other stuff. So
Crazy!
let us know. Go back and watch our collection video. We've got a few different stuff since then, but I mean, really, it's very minimal. So go back there. Let us know what you want.
Rock on.
And, you know, as long as we don't die from the...
Karoba.
Yeah, as long as the coronavirus doesn't yeet us from our mortal coil, we will return once again to
Provide you with memes.
apolitical
Apolitical memes.
perfume content for you. Okay, goodbye.
Yeet!